Burton C Bell, a genuine honor to meet you, man.
Oh, it was wonderful to meet you. Thank you for saying so. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic, man. It's coffee time here, first thing in the morning. So
Where are you located? Where in Australia are you?
I'm in Sydney. Yeah,
Beautiful.
just on the outskirts. I work at a tattoo studio as well that sells records, and I know you're a heavily tattooed man, and I don't know how you feel about. Yeah, I've got a few. I look more like a school teacher than I do a tattoo artist. So I've got.
Oh, you look like most tattoo artists that I know.
Thank you. But yeah, man, like I know you've got a busy tour coming up, but if you want to
Yeah,
come and hang out for the day, we are an hour outside of Sydney, but it's beautiful. There's bushwalks nearby, all sorts of stuff. So it's
awesome. I've spent a fair amount of time in Sydney. Back in during the pandemic, actually,
oh
was there
wow.
for like almost was there for almost I was like 5 months there. It was great.
Christ.
We were living in I was we were staying in Sydney. God, Water Waterford? No.
Oh man.
We
In
were we were directly across the road from us was a big golf course, and I could walk to the oval,
yeah.
which is about a half mile away.
Oh,
So I'm trying to remember the area we were in.
oh God. Oh geez, it'll be oh I'm wondering if it's north or south of Sydney or because there's a few golf courses up and down the coast. There's up at
It was in Sydney proper.
oh right. So you're probably right in the
Yeah, I was like near Fox Studios, and it was
oh
near
yeah.
the
Around that part.
oval.
Yeah,
So
I got a mate living there, so yeah, absolutely. I know where you. Actually grew up there, as a wee baby. So
yeah,
that's
I loved it. It was awesome. I loved it there. But I do love Sydney. I wish I had time to get a tattoo at your place and check it out. Our tour is going to be very quick,
yeah. I
in
did.
and out. We're playing Brisbane on the 11th, Newcastle on the 12th, Sydney on the 13th, Friday the 13th, I think, and Melbourne on the 14th.
Yeah, you just sort of bang bang bang. But it's a nice drive. I imagine. I don't know if you'd be flying it or driving it, but it's. I mean, you've been to Australia enough times to sort of have an idea of what you're in for. But will this be your?
Absolutely.
But you came here in 2021 doing a DJ set.
Well, that's when I was staying there. It was like the pandemic. That's when I
Uh,
was staying there. So I had my friend at Frankie's
yeah.
hooked me up with a DJ set, and that was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, because it's a shame that Frankie's isn't there anymore. They bulldozed it and put in a light rail, which is like our tram system, I suppose.
So
Um,
that whole area is just gone.
that building has been leveled. Yeah,
God,
I remember
wow,
talking
it's
to a guy.
amazing.
I remember a guy who's talking on who was working on site, and after they'd flattened everything and they were sort of gutting it, and he just sent me a photo, and it was like the last remaining wall. It was this wall was sticker bombed and everything, and he just says it's such a shame I have to knock this wall down. It almost felt like a piece of history, especially in the Sydney music scene, you know. So
Absolutely, every band known to man has ever been through Frankie's.
yeah, I got told about that. Actually, I'd sort of heard about the place for years, and I heard about it from a roadie. I was over in Vietnam on my honeymoon and talked to this guy. He'd been on tour with Taylor Swift. And he's like, "Have you been to Frankie's?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "You have to go. You have to go." So when we got back, I became a regular there, and
The
yeah,
pizza, the
it
pizza was really good too.
oh, wasn't it, man? But I understand Jordan, who runs the place.
Jordan McDonald.
Jordan McDonald, yeah, he's a legend, man. He's that guy I bump into every, but he's just opened his own new place up again, called Inferno's Rock Room. So
Well, I'm gonna make sure I contact him before I get down there, and hopefully have some time afterwards or before. We'll see.
yeah,
But I do plan on staying a little bit longer after the tour,
yeah,
so maybe we can get back to Sydney. Our tour ends in Melbourne, so I might be hanging out in that area.
yeah, for sure. Um, congratulations on the Metal Hall of Fame induction. That was very cool, man. Alongside Diebag as well on the.
That was cool, man. It was super cool and very unexpected, obviously. It was, it was great to be recognized for a contribution I made to music. It's awesome.
Yeah. I saw the rest of the names like Ricky Rocket from Poison was on there too, and
Yeah, he
that.
didn't show up because he had to evacuate his animals because that was during the fires in LA.
Oh
So he
wow.
had to evacuate animals from where he lived. He and his wife lived. They were in that fire region, so they had to evacuate.
Wow, that's insane. I know where because we had the Black Summer fire, so we were watching and just all we could do was feel for him because we knew like 6 Ks from where I work. That's where we had friends on the front line fighting those fires. So when we saw the stuff in LA, it was just
Oh
horrific.
my God, those Australian fires were devastating.
They were awful, and that was right after the pandemic, and yeah, but yeah, I saw that. Oh, that's a shame because Ricky Rocket like Poison was like at me as a kid. That was my first love as far as music's concerned was Poison. It's fun.
Really?
Yeah, man. It's funny. I listen to like everything. Like up to Cannibal Corpse, grindcore, and all that sort of stuff. I think as far as metal's concerned, I've got a pretty broad range, but I'll still stick on Poison and Def Leppard and try and get the high squeals out. So
Hey, good for you, man. Those are pretty impossible for me.
yeah, well, I never hit them. Always tried, but I do want to. I don't want to. I do want to talk about this tour because it's very interesting. Like digging through your back catalog, like the amount, like 30 plus years of music up your belt. I'm just wondering what the set list is going to look like. Is it going to be like a lot of your like most well-known stuff, or are we getting a lot of deep cuts? Because I mean, for me, that's the shit that lights me up. Finding the stuff that maybe I hadn't even heard of before.
There's gonna be a lot of new songs, a lot of my new songs I'll be playing. But like you said, I have 30 years worth of catalog from various entities, not just Fear Factory, but The Watchers,
Yep.
City of Fire, GZR. So I'll be, cherry picking from these places. As you know, for Fear Factory, my so I have a mantra. I've created this mantra for myself to really define how I'm moving forward in my next chapter of my career, and that's heavy, groovy, dark, and moody. And if it fits that criteria, that's what I want to play. No matter what band I'll be pulling from. But there's something else that I'll be doing is that I have two guitar players now. I don't have a keyboard player, so it'll be two guitar players, bass player, and drummer, and myself. And the guitar players will be trading off between rhythm and leads, and the leads are actually going to be taking where there might have been a keyboard sound or something like that.
Yeah.
So I am evolving these songs to fit my evolution. So they're not going to sound like exactly like Fear Factory, except I'll be singing it, but I'm going to be playing it the way I'm going to be interpreting it in my new style.
Wow.
Still heavy,
Yeah.
but it's going to be, I'm going to keep along that groovy narrative.
Of course.
So, and yeah, everything's going to be live.
Yeah. Every bit. Well, that's because I did listen to Anti-Droid and Technical Exorcism, and to me, it's yeah. I couldn't believe how doomy it was. Almost like tech doom sort. Because I think like the sound of your voice and your music, it's always going to have that association with that tech, industrial sort of sound.
Of
But
course.
there's I go and watch a lot of doom music around here, a lot of local music in that genre, and to me, I thought it could have lined up beautifully with that sort of stuff as well. Like it's to me, it's tech doom, and I was wondering now that you're sort of free.
Heck, dude, that's good.
Yeah, tech doom. Oh, cool. And I thought that the phrase you said earlier that could be a T-shirt as well. That would.
Heavy, groovy, dark, and moody. Oh, it is. I've created that T-shirt.
Uh,
That's on the back. So heavy, groovy, dark is in heavy, groovy, dark is in white print, and moody is in moody blueprint.
that's
It's like a
perfect.
dark, it's like a dark blueprint, and definitely have that shirt down there.
Oh,
But you know, I'll be picking. I'm picking songs from like early tracks
yeah,
that I've always loved. And I think to me was like that was like when Fear Factory started. This is what I was really pushing for, and that's what I was really into. So you'll hear some old, like some classics. I'm still getting the band. You know, the band and I are still trying to figure out what other songs we want to play. But
yeah.
you know, I got four bands plus new songs to choose from.
And is
But
it?
yeah, there's another fear. There's one more, probably one more Fear Factory song I want to play
Yep.
with the set that I need to add. So it's gonna be a good set, at least an hour long for sure.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, I thought because I know you did some work with Ministry as well, and I thought you might throw that maybe throw one of those in or any like whatever you like. But the new music, I'm wondering now that you're sort of free of the shackles of the fucking labels and all that
Yes.
stuff and all the restrictions of being in a band like Fear Factory. Are there any genres or subgenres you're taking on? Are you intentionally going in a sound direction, or are you just producing what comes out of you, molding it? And I'm wondering if you like, would you take on I don't know, crossover thrash song or something like that? Is there
Well,
anything?
I'm doing the latter, not the former. So I will be taking I yeah, I'll be taking like heavy songs and doing just kind of reinterpreting them. But
Oh no,
I'm not gonna be,
I
I'm
mean,
not going to be putting myself into a certain genre. We're just going to be writing songs
yeah,
that are heavy, that, fit the mantra of heavy, groovy, dark, and moody. If it sounds good, we're going to make it happen. But yeah, the new songs I've been writing with the band, so Anti-Droid and Technical Exorcism were written before I had like a band together.
yeah,
Alex Christiani wrote Anti-Droid for me, and then I wrote Technical Exorcism,
yeah,
but I had Big Paul Ferguson play drums on it, and I had Norman Westberg play guitar on it. But it was after that that I started really developing. I was curating this band together, and the two new songs that will be coming out hopefully before I reach Australia were written with a band,
awesome, yeah.
and it sounds more cohesive. It sounds really like a band together, and I'm really happy with the guys I have, and we're all just stoked to be coming over and blowing the just
Yeah.
blowing it up, just blowing it up over in Australia, just having a great time and just rocking out.
Are there any particular memories that you have of Australia that sort of because I'm looking through like just me turning up to your shows, there are like key memories I have um at the forefront of my memories of live music that involve you and like you've done 3D big day outs.
Yeah,
I remember the second one where you were the mystery band, where Fear Factory was the
yeah.
band,
It was
and
because I can't remember if Sepultura pulled out.
that was the first one in '97. Yeah,
Yeah, and so we were a mystery band, and we came back, and that was fun. Like,
yeah.
oh, we didn't know you'd be here. Like, well, we didn't really either.
Well, I think I found out 3 minutes before you started. My we were over on another stage. We just watched a band called Blood Duster. They're like an Aussie grindcore band.
I know them; they're great.
They're gonna tour this year. They're back there doing a thing in September out in the middle of Australia, But I love those guys, and I remember seeing them. And then my little brother, comes running over, and he's like, Are you coming?" I'm like, "Going where?" He's like, "Fear Factory's about to play." I'm like, "No, they're not." He's like, and some other band I didn't want to see was on. I'm like, "Fuck it, let's go." So we ran over, and just as we got there, he kicked into Marta, and just it was absolute scenes. It was,
Well, I do one thing I do always remember about the always going to Australia is that the fans are always receptive, very supportive, and they come out and support the bands they love.
yeah,
And I hope they continue to do that, especially with, I'm an independent artist now,
yeah.
and having their support would mean the world to me,
Yeah.
and would also be the best support I could have for this tour. But I think a memory just came into my mind as I was talking about that, and it was our very first tour in Australia. Very first time ever going down there was probably first time we were down there was late '93.
Oh wow.
I think we were playing Melbourne, some small venue. Might have can't remember. It was some pub or I can't remember what it was called. It was a small venue. Stage was like only like a foot and a half off the floor where the fans were. So the fans were like literally in my face.
Yeah.
And there was this one fella up front, and he was having a great time, and I was having a great time. And I was young, I was thrashing around, and was headbanging as I was singing. And this young guy was also headbanging as
Yeah.
I was singing, and he was right in front of me. And at one point, our head just like bam, my skull hit his skull. I saw like a flash,
Yeah.
and the next thing I remember, I'm waking up on my back. Christian's over, no, Dino's above me going, "Bert, you okay? You okay? You okay?" I'm like, what? Got knocked unconscious by an Australian fan on my first tour. He 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 was very apologetic. Obviously, it was obviously an accident, and it was a what do they call it? A workplace. What do they
Workplace.
call it? It's when you're in a work environment and there's one of those things that happens.
Yeah, yeah, just a
Goes
work.
with the territory. So
Yeah, well, when you're playing,
ever since then, I managed to stay at least a little bit from the people headbanging right in front of me. I do love being right. I do love being right in people's faces, and I love it when there's no barricade and you're just there and just engaging with everyone. You just high five and slap people and punch people, and just it's you feel their sweat spraying all over you.
yeah,
That's a lot of that's like a lot of fun.
yeah, a stadium show and a floor show are two very different environments for live music, and
Very two different environments. Both are fun,
yeah,
but I think it's those small intimate shows that really I think really the fans love that the most. I believe
yeah, for sure.
I
Uh,
would as a that's what I love as a fan. I like the small intimate shows. It's when you get
uh,
up close and personal.
yeah, I absolutely agree with you. Because I know I see a lot of local bands and they support these bigger stadium bands, and I watch them up on that stage, and I'm thinking the closest I could get to the band in the stadium right now is probably the furthest I'd be in a small venue. Like that barrier and then the stage, and you're so far away from them at the start.
I know.
I saw him like a month ago.
Yeah, those barriers are. It's like a wall. It's really a wall between the bands, and it's a total disconnect. And when I see a barrier in a small venue, it just really just kind of just here we are. You got to make the best of it. But you manage to find ways to get around it.
I did go and see Greg Puciato play at Crowbar last year, and he was the singer for Dillinger, and he walked into
Um,
the room and he got security, and the barrier was there, and with the security, they just pushed the barrier out of the way, just got rid of it, jammed it up the side, and then it ended up being like we could be right up on and it created a different atmosphere immediately. Like people's eyes lit up. I don't know if you can do that at the factory, which is where you're at in Sydney, but I'm
I
sure
do not know. Probably not, but we'll see.
we'll find a way.
Find a, if not, I am known to stand on the barricade myself.
Excellent, excellent. I also read you were recently. I'm a comic book nerd.
Ah, good. Man,
Way
join
back,
the
way back in the day. Like here, I've got reference stuff for drawing, but then down here and then I've got just miles of them. But I read that you contributed on the Typo Negative graphic novel.
I
As
did. I did. That's finally coming out.
yeah,
It's the 30th anniversary of Bloody Kisses.
yeah. How did
And
how did that come about?
I've had a relationship with the editor for quite some time now. His name's Rance Hosley. 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 I was, and before he was with Z2, he was with another company called Heavy Metal.
Yep.
And
Oh,
he's always just he's reached out to me a few times, but when he got associated with Z2, uh, the first thing he got me to do was a story for the Pantera graphic novel
oh.
for Vulgar Display of Power, and I was given the song Walk to write a story to. I was like, oh, rats. So I wrote a story for that, which is that story kind of fell within my aesthetic of an android in an existential crisis trying to slowly learning who he is in general, right?
Yeah.
But the typo negative one, I stretched myself, and it became I went to the fantasy, like real fantasy realm, and I wrote a story that's kind of like cold case files with a very supernatural twist.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, because
And I
I've
did the song. It was for the song "Blood and Fire."
on fire. Yeah, what a belter.
Great song.
Yeah, so that's kind I saw that like, and to me, like again, like a kid who grew up drawing pictures, like just to be part of a comic would that would blow me away. And I've talked to other guys like Scott Ian, and because they have the Anthrax, their own book, and they were talking about the collaborators they were working with. I mean, I saw that Charlie Benante's he wrote a story for the same book, and so did Christine Scabia from Lacuna.
Yeah, Christina Scabia is in the. She's also on the typo negative.
Yeah, and
Um, yeah, Z2 they specialize in music
yeah,
graphic novels, and they did Bruce Dickinson's graphic novel.
yeah, they did
A lot of other
a
people's, I'm
one.
sure, but they probably did Anthrax's as well.
Yeah, they may have because I've seen like I've looked on their website. The only issue we have here in Australia is shipping. Like to get a book that's worth $30, I think it costs $84 to get it here. 84
Oh,
Australian.
dude, that's so true. And because I'm an independent artist and I don't have any like business, I don't have any type of business perks that go with shipping.
Yeah,
I made the decision that I cannot ship to Australia
yeah,
because it's just like it's too expensive. It's really sad. So, but
yeah. And that was I even talked to like I went to the States in 2017. I met one of my favorite artists, a guy called Michael Hussar, and he's like a beautiful painter. And he has these books, and and he said, "Listen, how did you get it?" He was asking me about the shipping, I was asking about art stuff, and that was before the pandemic. Since then, it's just impossible to
oh,
get.
it's gotten even more ridiculous after that.
Yeah, it's mental.
Who's
So,
your favorite tattoo artist?
Paul Booth, the guy.
Dude.
Have you been tattooed by Paul at all?
No, I have not had the pleasure.
Who have you who's tattooed you? Who's your tattoo artist?
The main one who he did both my sleeves. His name's Corey Flatmo.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and he started tattooing me. Do you know him?
Yeah,
Or
I
you
don't
know
know
of
him, I
him?
know of his work. His skulls are
Yeah,
I
dude.
I reference that so much. He's
So Corey Flatmo, he and I started our careers at the same time, and
wow.
he's the one who did these on me.
Wow.
So, and it's like every time I see Corey, he gets his friends around. It's like, look, here is a history of my work, and he starts here. This is my first tattoo.
Yeah.
Like this starts here. And we did all this and went around, and every time I had a chance to see him, we'd do this. last work I did, he's he didn't do the hand, but
Yeah.
he's fixing this piece up that was a mess. But here, look at this eye he did. I don't know if you see that.
Oh, get no, that's in my yeah. I'm so
And
jealous, man.
there's an early one too. Wait,
Yeah, wow. Oh, he's a black and grey legend. Look at that. Oh, wow. That's like an evolution of Corey's work.
that's exactly what he says. It's an evolution of his work. So he's done a bulk of my work.
That's insane. Yeah,
He,
yeah, look, because I'll tell you now, like I haven't seen Corey do a lot of tribal. His skulls and he's big black and grey pieces. He's used
so
shade.
these pieces that he did right here, these tribal pieces, he designed for my forearm.
Yeah.
It's like, so he's like, dude, I just picture this. You're on stage, you're doing this. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Oh,
And that was like 94.
yeah. And he's still going.
He's still going. I'm very fortunate to have like actual, he gave me a set of his skull flash that I have. And he gave me a painting of his
Oh,
that I have
cool.
in my house here. One of his watercolors of a uh, Japanese demon. And so it's, yeah, I haven't seen Corey in a while, but it's been
Yeah.
a few years. But he lives in Cincinnati, so whenever I'm going through there, I manage to make some time for him.
That is fucking cool.
But
Yeah.
Paul Booth is sick. His artwork is on a whole nother level,
Yeah.
and
I
it's just
I remember seeing like the tattoos that he did, like because when I was a kid, there weren't tattoo magazines were just sort of starting, and
yeah,
excuse me. But then I remember like reading a heavy metal magazine, and they did a thing on tattoos, and there was this profile on Paul Booth because he'd done, Phil Anselmo, Max Cavalera,
yeah.
Corey Taylor later on. But I remember as a kid seeing it, like all the tradition.
Stephen Carpenter, I think too.
Yeah, yeah, he did Chris Adler over the time. Like he's the list. It basically it drew my eye to him, and then I saw the way he tattooed, and I thought I didn't know you could tattoo like that, you know. So I started drawing accordingly and getting in trouble at school for the stuff I was drawing. And now I'm getting paid to do the stuff I was getting in trouble for. So it's
Well, good for you, mate. That's
yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, I get to talk about heavy metal too, and I used to get in trouble at school for that as well. So, um,
What do you teach?
I used to teach reproductive health, but now I'm a tattoo artist. Sorry, no, it was like,
Oh, you used to be a teacher. Now you're a full-time artist.
I used to teach reproductive health. I used to go to prisons and schools and talk to kids about HIV and Hep C and that. So, and that information sort of transitioned into tattooing as well. So, it's very cool.
Oh, that's very true.
Um,
Skin, skin and blood health.
yeah, exactly. That's right. I've also I'm very interested because throughout your career you've talked about like basically the doom and gloom of technology and all that sort of stuff. AI, man and machine. Like your story Conception 5,
Yeah.
um, through the Obsolete album. And now like it used to be science fiction. Now I can see it becoming reality. Like the rampant use of AI, how quickly it's impacted the world, and also like the stuff the weaponization of religion and corporatism and all that sort of stuff. And now I can see it unfolding in real time.
Yep.
Are you at all surprised by any of this unfolding as quickly as it has, or like the
No, I'm not. Um, I saw that, as a observer of the world and as a writer and a person who loves science fiction, I learned how these science fiction writers observe the world and how they were able to write about their current time, but see it just a little bit further in the future. But I'm not, even like obsolete, writing obsolete the Conception 5. I saw that happening then, honestly.
yeah, true.
You put it into a fantasy world, and people are like, "Oh, that's never going to happen,"
Yeah.
but it was. When it comes to AI, And there's a great, he's not, I don't know, he was a writer, but he was just a genius in general. His name was Rick Kurzweil. Wrote a book called The Age of the Spiritual Machine. And in that, he concluded that technology, the evolution of technology, it evolves exponentially.
Yeah.
So what we knew of AI 2 years ago has grown exponentially since then. So it's probably 100-fold times more faster and more evolved than it was 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at some point, AI is going to start reproducing. It's going to start creating itself. It's going to start creating its own businesses. It's going to start creating its own networks. So Skynet, what James Cameron wrote about Skynet
Yeah.
coming around, Skynet, that was actually supposed to be happening in 2027.
Oh, that's yeah. That's not scary at all, is it?
No, not at all.
I've got. I know we've got to wrap up. I just saw the time, and I'm so sorry. But I'll ask you
It's all
one.
right. We're gonna have a few more minutes.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. I've got one question. I ask everyone this. I know you've worked with Geezer Butler in the past, which
Yeah, buddy.
that's the best. Are you going to the farewell show in July? It'd be just after your tour here, maybe a couple
I
of weeks.
wish I could. I can't afford to go.
Yeah, I tried. I can't, but I tried still and couldn't get the tickets. But the question
Or
I
the tickets were expensive too.
yeah, yeah. So the question I have is there's a scenario, the world's blowing up, AI's taken over. We've all got to go on a big spaceship into outer space, but you're only allowed to take one Black Sabbath album with you. Which one is it and why?
I would take Sabotage
Yeah.
because all the records before that are fucking great, but something about that and every song in that record just resonated with me. And it's perhaps because it was the very first Sabbath record I listened to back to back.
Yep.
And listening to it, I was like, holy fuck, this whole record just smokes. Every song just smokes. So and the words and the intensity of the music and it just sounds amazing. It's just like everything about Black Sabbath all into one.
And it's
And
probably the
I love
heaviest
that.
album too.
I actually did a version of a Symptom of the Universe.
Oh, yeah.
But and but I what I did was I took the breakdown part
Yeah.
where do 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 do.
Yeah.
I looped that,
Oh.
put a fucking killer beat underneath it, and made that the entire song.
Oh. I'm gonna go digging for that now.
Oh, it's not out. It's gonna
Oh,
be out, but it's not out.
yeah, if you could, that would be awesome. Big fan of yours, big fan of Black Sabbath. So, yeah, mine's Master Reality.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong really. Like you could even Dio's albums, like the whole thing. It's awesome. But
There's
listen,
no wrong answer.
no, there isn't. Well, there is. I won't tell you what it is.
Is it dehumanizer?
It's cool. Burton, it's been a genuine honor to talk to you, man. I've thank you for your time, and you will see me in Sydney at the factory.
Fantastic. And I'm grateful for your time. Thank you for getting up early and making this happen. And
Mate.
I look forward to seeing you as well in Sydney. And just tell everyone to come by, support independent artists. I've made Australia my proving ground for the next chapter of my career. So come out and see what it's all about. You guys will be the first. And we're ready. And we're ready to make it happen and just start devastating the countryside.
Burton, thank you so much. I'll see you in June.
See you in June, Duane.
Absolute legend. Cheers, man.